Welcome to a new Daily Top AskReddit video. Today's topic.
What's something that women say to men that they don't realize is insulting? I have never met a man who liked being referred to as a short king, pocket prince, diminutive duke. I'm not short, but I can see how that's aggravating tbh. Like, I get you want to compliment, but you're still throwing his insecurity in his face. I mean, like, doesn't it sound insulting calling a plus-size girl a fat queen? Oddly enough, I knew someone that used the gamertag royal thickness. I find the labels king and queen annoying AF as is. Attaching an insult as a prefix doesn't help. I thought I was alone here. I find the queen and king shit cringy and honestly so FKN annoying. For example, when I do something nice for my girlfriend and her friends or mom say, "Oh, she's got you trained well." They're just trying to be funny, but that shit makes me so mad. That's such a tasteless joke. I hate it. Woman here, whenever I see someone do something nice for their partner, I usually think, you're a lucky man, woman. Your partner is so considerate. Quote. Literally, that's my inner dialogue every time. I don't understand the point of a joke that only discredits the person's actions. When your coworker complains that there aren't any cute guys that work here, respond with, yeah, they're probably working where all the cute girls work. Reminds me of that video of a traffic stop where the girl that got pulled over says, "I didn't think you give cute girls tickets." Quote. And the cop replies, "We don't sign here." Quote. Oh, are you babysitting today? No, I am a parent, not a babysitter. Yes, I want to be around my kids, and no, it's not a chore. Anytime I take them to the playground, I usually stand close to them. Not because I'm a helicopter parent. Because the one time I sat on a bench, 3 separate times women would approach me while recording with their phones and demand to know if I had kids there. I'm lucky that my kid looks like a little clone of me and is always running back to me yelling daddy, so I get to bench it like a pro. Man, that's crazy. I live in the UK and never experienced anything like this. Every time I go to the park with my daughter, whether she's close or running off on her own, the mums are really chill and friendly. Maybe it's just rare, I'm lucky, or perhaps it's a regional issue. IDK, but that sucks. It's pure sexism. One of my college professors said the same thing when he was a stay-at-home dad. I remember calling my dad afterwards and asked him if he dealt with that, since my parents were divorced and I spent a lot of time with just him on the weekends. He groaned and said, "Oh yeah, I got that a lot. I hated it." Opening parenthesis. My sister-in-law made a comment on one of my brother's pictures on Facebook saying that he'd really lost a lot of hair. He replied back that she'd gotten pretty fat too. Somehow he was the bad guy. Bald guy. She fucked around and he let her find out. No one knows what it's like to the bald man, to be the sold man, behind blue aisles. Oh shit. I got a similar one. One time we were hanging out with a group of friends from high school and we hadn't seen each other in a while. This one girl who was recently divorced made a comment about one of my buddies. She said, "Wow, you've lost a lot of hair." That's when the class clown type, cool guy though, chimed in with, "Yeah, and you've lost a lot of, husbands." Oh baby, that was a fun night. I'm a technician. I work at a very large facility. Generally we have our own bathrooms. One day our bathroom was closed, so I went next door. There were visiting children, and a facility staff member, not teacher, told me to make good choices. I thought that was a bit much myself. Ray, they insinuating that you wanted to molest a child or something? Yes, they were. That is both a wild thing to say and the most condescending way to say it. I'm not normally into guys who have whatever you hate about yourself. While on a date once I got her, I don't usually kick it with guys like you, Mike. Me, guys like me. Her, yeah, you know, you got like a job and shit. This one seems more like her self-depreciating by pointing out her usual terrible taste in men and simultaneously complimenting you for not being one of those terrible men. I'm an organized, tidy guy with a clean apartment. Obviously that means I have OCD, am on the spectrum, have something to hide, or was well trained. No, I just don't like chaos and filth. I've heard of women saying that if a man's apartment is too clean, that it means that a woman lives there, as if all women are super tidy and clean, lol. They'd be surprised at how disgusting some women's homes are. Or you're accused of being gay. You would look so much better with a beard. Quote, thanks, I still can't grow one. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that some men just cannot grow facial hair. Can't grow hair under my nose. Middle part above upper lip. In my experience it's when they put, actually, into any compliment they give you. You, actually, look good today, or, you're, actually, really good at that. It discredits the efforts you put into yourself and your activities. At some point in my teenage years, for whatever reason, I noticed I was using, actually, as kind of a filler, emphasis word. It wasn't something I was doing with the intent of insulting people, but if you think about it for the tiniest bit, it's such a backhander to the face. With one word, you can basically convey the message, despite every impression I've had up until this moment, and what the world thinks about you in general, you actually have a good quality. That's actually a good point, huh? How are you still single? Quote, it's because people like me enough to be friendly with me but I'm not attractive enough to be with, Susan. Oh wow, I actually had a convo about this when I chatted with a female colleague of mine when I said I've never been in a relationship before. I told her I don't have an issue getting close enough to a girl to be friends with them, but I just can't seem to make them see me as a potential romantic partner. Like I've had at least 2 close girlfriends in my life, who don't really talk much to other guys. She then responded with, I can see that actually. I guess it's 'cause you're safe and quite harmless. Wasn't sure how to take that honestly. I was thinking this morning about an AITA post in which a guy was offended that his girlfriend said that the first thing that attracted her to him was he was safe, and everyone was saying that, safe, is actually one of the highest compliments a woman can pay to a man and it has no negativo meaning. Cue this comment. I am the guy who every girl dates before they marry their eventual husband. Quote, Nick Miller, new girl. A marriage fluffer. Her, how are you still single? Me, you're single too, wanna go on a date? Her, EWWW, no. Me, exactly. Removed. This one hits hard for me. I'm a tradesman and when dingbat wealthy clients get to know me I get this sometimes. I like what I do and don't have any desire to live their soulless lives like they think I do. I'm a woman, and people say this to me all the time. Even worse, I'm black, so they say stuff like, you talk very well, like damn, I can't win for shit. You're very articulate. Had a black woman on my team, knew more about computer security than 99% of the people in the field. We were in a meeting and people kept asking me questions, I would defer to her. After the 4th or 5th time a VP said, I thought you were the SME. I told him I was till we hired her. Next question was addressed to me, I just shook my head. By the way, I still keep up with her, she has a PhD in computer security. Commenting on a father, babysitting his own child when playing with them outside. Mama's day off, and all that. No Karen, I'm just being a dad. And the even more insidious, helping. Any contribution the dad makes is, helping, the mom. I remember one time, my wife and I were celebrating a job she got, so I went out and got her some flowers, her favorite wine and candies. While I was waiting in line, a random lady standing behind me said, someone's in trouble. To have the nerve to say this to someone infuriated me. My response to this was always to give them a flat stare and say, it says a lot about the men you choose that that's the only reason they'd buy flowers. They were usually pretty quiet after that. I like to go with, I'll say, my wife's been stuck in a coffin for a whole year today. Maybe just throw in a comment about pouring one out for the homies about the wine and the chocolate because you felt like chocolate. No, these are for me. I have said this, and the lady got to wait in right behind me till checkout. These are my walking petunias. When you're with a platonic girlfriend and someone asks, are you two dating? Then she responds with, number. You could just say no. Not gonna lie, I've done this but only because I actually had a crush on the guy. I panicked and I didn't want to make it obvious. I realized how rude that sounded afterwards and apologized profusely. That was a good way to make him think you weren't interested. Why aren't you doing for her? I dunno, my wife is independent, capable, and wanted to do she's doing. Typically it's painting, changing her oil, yard work, things that are traditionally mistaken as a man's responsibility. I'm not going to stop her if she wants to do it. Goddamn, as a wife, I hate this too. Apparently I'm incapable of pushing a shopping cart or carrying things if my husband is anywhere in the vicinity. It's so embarrassing for everyone involved. I've had other women make comments to, let the boys work, whenever I'm outside hauling soil, lifting rocks, or shoveling snow. Fuck me for helping her. Yes, I, woman, work in assembly. Being physically capable is part of the job description. But the older ladies always try to insist that I shouldn't be lifting this 10 to 20 pounds object when I could just get one of the men to do it. Like, thanks for your input, Helen, but I can get it my damn self. Why don't you have a girlfriend yet? Quote, in other words, what's wrong with you that's not immediately obvious? Because, that's the only explanation for you not being paired up is that you have some kind of defect. Start up in a new workplace and seem to have the same conversation with the older, married ladies. Oh, you're such a nice guy, do you have a GF? No, I do not. Oh, you should get one. As if I can just pluck one off a shelf. Happens so often I came up with a response. Well, I ordered one off the website. She hasn't arrived yet. You think I should give them a call? Quote. I genuinely don't understand dating advice in general. That's just, if you want a partner, go get one. Or, if you want her, go get her. Like, oh thanks, I hadn't tried kidnapping and or human trafficking yet. I was talking to a girl I had met on a trip last year when she asked me, why do you choose to be single? I'd never been asked it like that, so it was nice that she framed it that way, like it just had to be my choice. Later in the convo she made it pretty clear she was into me, but regardless of that it still was nice. You know how it is, you start to get close to someone and somehow they end up dismembered in your basement freezer. Like, again. Not a real man, if he's not in the mood for sex. We'll never get pregnant at this rate, for once being too tired. This was from a pretty dry marriage. It hurt more than it should. That would be an instant breakup for me. Not a real man, if literally anything.